what was the process in the reimagination? You know, you have a classic. Some people are like, you can't touch the classic, you can't do this, you can't do that. But you did it, and in my
Yeah,
opinion, you elevated that.
yeah. Oh man, to say I elevated it, thank you so much. You don't know which way you know what I mean. You don't know which way people are gonna go, left, right. Uh, but yeah, I hope people hear the growth, and maturity and my choices as a vocalist, right? I still wanted to create I still wanted to capture the authenticity of what I created 20 years ago, but I knew that it wasn't going to be identically the same. You know what I mean? So um I had to love it to put it out. I didn't know how it was going to be received. I wanted to so the goal was to maintain the authenticity of what it is I did, you know, this nostalgia I created over 20 years ago, but also um put a new twist on it. It wasn't creative for it wasn't solely for creative to just have fun creatively. Like it's a business move too, because it becomes a new master, which means the ownership, you know what I mean? And which means so if I have to remake these songs for the next 10 years or 5 years, or, within the next 12 months, and so be it, what I'm saying? To have ownership of something I put all this work into. And the realization of that came about earlier this year. You know, originally the plan was to re-release the album on the actual date that the album came out 20 years ago. And I just ran into a lot of roadblocks with that, you know what I mean, with the current distributor that owns the master, you know what I mean? Like I don't own the master of the first three projects, you know what I mean? So until they revert back to me, anything that I want to do with those records, re-releasing them, going to radio with a record, um, monetizing them through licensing and sync deals and things of that nature, I got to deal with them. You know what I mean? And they have to deal with me too. But when you own the master, it's a different type of, they have the power, they got the juice. You know what I mean? And then things I can do to like to be disruptive, and I'm on the fence about that, and how far I want to take it, because I do want to have ownership of my art. But in the meantime, like who better to remake the song than me, you know?
Nah, no, you got it. Like I said, like when I listened to it, I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, all right, now what we finna get into?
Yeah,
Oh, cause like you said, it could go real right or real left. And like
yeah.
I said, like, no, it was definitely an elevation, like from the production standpoint to clearly, your vocals, the growth and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
I think you took a classic and you added to it versus,
yeah,
taking something away.
yeah. So I've been re-recording some of the other records from the Love Experience, and it's like there's some other ones in the can, and I'm like, oh man, this feels like, you know, I approach this version like, yo, when they hear this, I want them to listen to the old one and feel like the old one was the demo. You know what I mean? So because respectfully, I've grown. Like I've grown, so I'm not the same vocalist that I was, in 2004, 2002, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, even in 2024. You know what I mean? Like this is about growth. You know what I mean? I've said it time and time again. I'll say it again. Like um, I think I've yet to scratch the surface of what I can do as a musician, as an artist, as a songwriter, as a singer, as a performer on stage. So I'm going to continue to just like push myself and challenge myself, in that space.